Hello, and welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the world of rare coins, surprising values, and hidden treasures sitting right in your pocket change. Today, we are about to uncover the story of a coin that has taken the numismatic community by storm. A coin that many people overlook, but could be worth tens of thousands of dollars if you're lucky enough to have it. Yes, we're talking about the legendary Washington Quarter with the D Mint mark that spans from 1821 to 2003 in collectible history and has recently shocked the market with a sale price of $78,486. Now, let's start at the very beginning. Although the Washington Quarter officially made its debut in 1932 to honor the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, the story of its collectible journey stretches far beyond its production years. The years 1821 to 1931 mark the era of pre-Washington coinage in American history, including capped bust quarters and seated Liberty quarters, which laid the groundwork for what was to become one of the most iconic coin series in American numismatics. Fast forward to 1932, and we enter the true era of the Washington Quarter. This coin was not originally intended to be a long-term series. It was designed as a one-year commemorative issue, but its popularity quickly changed that. The Washington Quarter would go on to become a staple of American currency minted continuously to this day. Now, let's talk about the Denver Mint. Identified by the small letter D located on the reverse or later on the obverse of the coin, depending on the year, the D Mint mark is a crucial detail for collectors. Coins with the D Mint mark are known for lower mintages in certain years, and when combined with condition errors or rare varieties, these coins can become extremely valuable. From 1932 to 2003, the D Mint mark Washington Quarter has had several key dates that stand out among collectors. Let's go over a few highlights. The 1932 D Quarter is one of the rarest and most valuable in circulated grades. With only about 400,000 minted, it already commands thousands of dollars, depending on its condition. Then we have notable war years like 1943D and 1944D, with minor die varieties that can increase their value. Moving forward to the silver years, which ended in 1964, any Washington Quarter minted before this year contains 90% silver and can be worth several times its face value just based on silver content alone. But what really drives prices through the roof are error coins and condition rarities. Coins struck off-centered double-die coins, or those with minting flaws such as missing letters or incomplete strikes, can be worth hundreds or even thousands of dollars. Now here's where things get really interesting. The coin that recently sold for $78,486 is believed to be a near-perfect specimen of a Washington Quarter, with a D Mint mark dated within the early modern era, but featuring a spectacular minting error combined with pristine uncirculated condition. Some sources suggest this coin may have been a transitional error or a coin struck on the wrong planchet, which is incredibly rare. Others believe the coin featured a double die obverse with sharp details and strong eye appeal, which collectors absolutely go wild for. So, what does this mean for you? It means you should be checking your change jars, your old coin rolls, your inherited collections, even that forgotten stash in the back of your drawer. If you spot a Washington Quarter with a D Mint mark, especially from the years 1932, 1950, 1955, or any coin in absolutely flawless condition, you may be looking at a small fortune. You never know what treasure might be hiding in plain sight. Let's also not forget the importance of professional grading. Many coins receive a value boost once they've been certified by top grading companies like PCGS or NGC. A mint state coin graded MS67 or above can see values that are exponentially higher than ungraded coins. And when it comes to coins with unique errors, grading not only confirms the authenticity, but adds serious weight to the coin's market appeal. In recent years, the coin market has seen a significant surge in high-value sales, especially in auctions held by top houses like Heritage Auctions and Stack's Bowers. The demand for rare Washington Quarters has never been higher. Investors and collectors alike are eager to scoop up coins with strong strike, eye-catching toning, and confirmed varieties. This is a hot moment for the Washington Quarter, especially those bearing the D Mint mark. To recap, you are looking for Washington Quarters with the D Mint mark minted between 1932 and 2003. Pay attention to key dates, silver years, minting errors, and overall condition. If your coin checks these boxes, it could be worth anywhere from a few dollars to tens of thousands of dollars, and yes, potentially as much as $78,486. So, what are you waiting for? Grab that magnifying glass, dig out your change, and start hunting. Let us know in the comments if you've ever found a rare coin or have questions about a coin in your collection. Don't forget to like this video, share it with your fellow collectors, and subscribe for more in-depth coin stories and shocking values that could be sitting right in your pocket. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy hunting, and may your next coin be the treasure of a lifetime. Have you ever looked at your spare change and wondered if one of those coins might be worth a fortune? One such coin might be sitting in your pocket right now, or tucked away in an old coin jar, or even passed down from a grandparent. Today, we are diving into the fascinating world of coin collecting and exploring one specific piece that has caught the eyes of collectors and investors across the globe. That is the Washington Quarter Dollar, minted with the P Mint mark between the years 1867 and 2006. And yes, you heard that right. Although the official Washington Quarter series started in 1932, this coin is part of a rare and mysterious error or anomaly that has made waves in numismatic communities. This extraordinary coin has recently made headlines for being valued at a staggering $90,786. That is nearly $91,000 for a single quarter. And while it might sound unbelievable to the average person, for collectors who know what to look for, this is a reality. So, how did a 25-cent coin become worth almost $100,000? Let's unpack the history, the mystery, and the value behind the 1867 to 2006 P Mint mark Washington Quarter Dollar coin history. To begin, we must go back in time. The Washington Quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th birthday of George Washington, the first president of the United States. The original design, by John Flanagan, featured a profile of Washington on the obverse side and an eagle on the reverse. For decades, this quarter was a standard piece of American currency, and millions of them were minted every year across different U.S. mint facilities, including Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco. Now here is where things get interesting. The 1867 date does not make sense in the context of the Washington Quarter because the Washington design did not exist yet. However, in rare cases, there have been coins discovered with incorrect date stamps due to minting errors, experimental strikes, or in some cases, intentional misprints. These anomalies are what collectors live for because they are one of a kind or extremely limited, and their value can skyrocket over time. In this case, the 1867 to 2006 P Mint mark Washington Quarter Dollar is believed to be one such anomaly. What makes this coin so valuable is not just the incorrect or blended date, but also the fact that it bears the P Mint mark, indicating it was minted in Philadelphia, which has a long and storied history of coin production. Philadelphia was the original mint facility and has been responsible for producing billions of coins since the late 1700s. Rare features that increase value. This specific quarter has a number of features that boost its value beyond comprehension. First is the date error itself. Coins that feature mismatched dates or date ranges that do not align with known minting timelines are exceedingly rare and often become the holy grail of a coin collection. The 1867 to 2006 range suggests an intentional or accidental overlap of dies during production or a deliberate minting for a special purpose that was never released to the public. Second is the P Mint mark. Philadelphia coins do not always carry a mint mark, especially before the mid-20th century. So when they do, especially in error coins, that mint mark becomes a defining trait for authenticity. Third is the condition of the coin. Coins that are uncirculated or in mint state with no signs of wear or scratches can be valued exponentially higher than those that have seen general use. This coin was reportedly graded by a top-tier grading company as being in near-perfect condition, which boosts its value astronomically. Fourth is historical significance. This coin tells a story that spans centuries, linking the post-Civil War era with the modern age of American coinage that alone creates a narrative that collectors find irresistible. Auction and market value. Recently, this coin made waves when it was auctioned at a private collector's event, and the final hammer price shocked everyone. The winning bid was $90,786, a staggering number for what most people consider just pocket change. The sale was documented in collector circles and further boosted interest and demand for similar coins. Since then, prices in the open market have surged as collectors scramble to locate any variant or misprinted Washington quarters with unique characteristics. Coins with double dies off center strikes, incorrect mint marks, or historical inconsistencies have all gone up in value, but the 1867 to 2006 P mint quarter remains one of the rarest and most sought after. Tips for identifying valuable quarters. If you're now rushing to your coin jar or checking under your couch cushions, here are a few tips to help identify if you may be holding a fortune in your hands. Look at the date and see if there are any irregularities. Check for double stamping, unusual spacing, or overlapping years. Next, examine the mint mark. Coins from Philadelphia will usually have a small p, but that is not always the case, especially in older coins. Also consider the condition. Is it shiny, clean, and scratch-free? If so, you may want to have it professionally graded. And of course, look up recently sold coins online to compare value and demand. Closing thoughts. In the end, the world of coin collecting is full of surprises and hidden treasures. What looks like ordinary change could actually be worth more than your car, your rent, or even a year's salary. The story of the 1867 to 2006 P mint Washington quarter dollar is a reminder that history has a way of showing up in the smallest places, sometimes in your pocket. So the next time you receive change at a store or dig through an old drawer, take a moment to really look at your coins, because you never know, you might just be holding a piece of history worth $90,000. If you enjoyed this deep dive into rare coin values, make sure to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell so you do not miss our next episode, where we uncover even more hidden gems in American currency. Thanks for watching and happy hunting. Welcome back to the channel, coin collectors and history lovers. Today, we're diving into one of the most exciting and surprising stories in the world of American coinage. It's the tale of a common coin with an uncommon value. I'm talking about the legendary 1966 Washington quarter with no mint mark. That's right, a simple-looking quarter that you might mistake for pocket change is now valued at a jaw-dropping $48,297. And in this video, we're going to break down exactly why. We'll cover the history behind this quarter. We'll explore the mystery of the missing mint mark. We'll talk about the production changes in the 1960s that made this coin unique. We'll take a look at some famous sales of this coin and why collectors are going wild for it. And finally, we'll reveal how to tell if you might have one of these treasures sitting quietly in a jar at home. Let's start by rewinding back to the year 1966. The United States was in the middle of a major transition when it came to coin production. The previous few years had seen a national coin shortage. The demand for coins had skyrocketed, partly due to the booming economy and vending machine usage. But it wasn't just about circulation. Silver was becoming too valuable. The cost of making coins with silver was outweighing the value of the coins themselves. This led to a huge decision by the United States Mint. In 1965, they stopped using silver in quarters altogether. That's right. Prior to 1965, quarters were made of 90% silver. But starting that year, they switched to a copper-nickel-clad composition. This was a major change in the coin's makeup, and it had collectors and the general public paying close attention. Then came 1966. The Mint was still trying to meet massive demand. To help simplify and speed up production, they temporarily removed mint marks from all coins. This meant that whether a coin was minted in Philadelphia, Denver, or San Francisco, it wouldn't show a mint mark at all. So when you look at a 1966 quarter and see no little d or s near the bottom of Washington's ponytail, that's not an error. It was intentional. But here's where it gets really interesting. While most of these no-mint mark quarters from 1966 are only worth face value or a little more in circulated condition, a small number of them are now valued at tens of thousands of dollars. And you might be wondering, why? What makes one 1966 quarter worth 25 cents and another worth $48,297? The answer lies in condition, rarity, and collector demand. Let's talk about condition first. Coins are graded on a scale from 1 to 70, with 70 being a perfect specimen. Most coins in circulation have scratches, wear, and marks from being used in everyday transactions. But some coins, usually those that were never actually used or were carefully preserved, can stay in nearly perfect condition. These are the coins that get high grades like MS 67 or even MS 68. MS stands for mint state. And in the case of the 1966 quarter, there are extremely few known examples in mint state 68 or higher. In fact, less than a dozen are known to exist in that pristine condition. Now let's bring in rarity. Because the mint didn't use mint marks in 1966, there's no way to separate coins from different mints. This makes it harder to trace their origins, which increases collector interest in high-grade examples. Add to that the fact that so many of these coins were spent, used, worn down, or thrown into circulation. Finding one in pristine shape is like finding a needle in a haystack. It's like discovering a tiny piece of history that somehow escaped the chaos of time, and then there's collector demand. Collectors love coins with stories. And this coin is everything: a historic shift in metal composition, a unique minting year without mint marks, and incredibly rare top-grade examples. When one of these few top-condition quarters comes up for auction, it creates a frenzy. Bidding wars break out. Prices climb. And that's exactly what happened when one of these coins sold for $48,297. It wasn't just a quarter. It was a legend. So, what can you do? How do you know if you might have one of these rare quarters? First, take a look at the date. If it says 1966 and there's no mint mark, you've passed step 1. Next, look at the coin's condition. If it's been heavily worn or scratched, it's probably not worth much. But if it looks flawless, shiny, and uncirculated, you may be onto something. To be sure, you'll want to get the coin professionally graded by a trusted service like PCGS or NGC. They'll examine it under high magnification and assign it an official grade, and who knows, if you're lucky enough to own one of the rare MS 68 1966 quarters, you could be sitting on a small fortune. Let's take a moment to appreciate how wild that is. A coin that was produced by the millions, used in daily life, and probably passed through soda machines and parking meters, one that looks just like every other quarter, could now be worth enough to buy a car, put a down payment on a house, or even take an extended vacation around the world. So the next time you get change from a vending machine or sort through that old piggy bank, take a close look. You never know when you might stumble upon hidden treasure. The 1966 no mint mark Washington quarter is a reminder that value isn't always obvious. Sometimes it's hidden in plain sight. Thanks for watching, and if you enjoyed this deep dive into rare coins and American history, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe for more fascinating coin content, and ring the notification bell so you never miss a video. Drop a comment below if you've ever come across a rare coin or if you're going to start checking your change a little more closely. Until next time, happy collecting and good luck hunting. Welcome back to the channel where we dive deep into the world of coins, currency, and hidden treasures you might just find in your own pocket. Today we're unlocking the story behind a seemingly ordinary coin that's making headlines in the collector's market. That coin is the 1995 P Mint Mark Washington quarter. On the surface, it may look like just another piece of pocket change, but one rare example of this quarter recently sold for a jaw-dropping $45,801. You heard that right. A Washington quarter from 1995 with the P Mint mark fetched nearly $46,000. Let's explore how and why. First, let's go back to the basics. The Washington quarter has been a staple of American currency since 1932. Introduced to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth, the coin has gone through numerous design changes and minting techniques over the decades. But the 1995 version with the P Mint mark minted in Philadelphia holds a very specific place in modern numismatic history. The year 1995 was not especially notable for the quarter. No major design changes. No commemorative features. Just your standard clad quarter made from copper and nickel. Millions were minted. In fact, over 1.1 billion 1995 P quarters were produced. So how does a coin from such a massive mintage become so valuable? The answer lies in rarity, condition, and collector demand. While billions of 1995 P quarters were struck, only a microscopic fraction were preserved in perfect or near-perfect condition. Most quarters go straight into circulation. They jingle in pockets. They get scratched up in drawers. They take a beating in vending machines and car washes. So, when one of these coins turns up in what's called Mint State 68 or higher, it becomes extremely desirable. Mint State grading is a scale used by professional grading services like PCGS and NGC. It runs from 1 to 70, with 70 being a flawless coin. The 1995 P quarter that sold for over $45,000 was graded at Mint State 68 by PCGS. That level of preservation for this coin is almost unheard of. It's a near-perfect example of a very common coin, and that makes it incredibly rare. Collectors are always on the hunt for the highest graded coins. Even if a coin is common in lower grades, a high-grade version can be worth a small fortune. That's what we're seeing here. A perfect storm of scarcity and condition. But wait, there's more. This particular 1995 P quarter also caught attention due to its eye appeal. The luster, the strike quality, the sharpness of detail all played a role in driving up the value. When collectors see a coin that not only has a high grade, but also visually stands out, the bidding wars begin. That's exactly what happened at the auction where this coin sold. Now let's talk about the current market value. As of now, April 2025, the top-graded 1995 P Washington quarter sits at an estimated market value of $45,801. That number is based on the most recent sale and the rarity of similar coins in that grade. While the average circulated 1995 P quarter is worth 25 cents, uncirculated examples can bring in anywhere from $5 to a few hundred, depending on the grade. But the real prize is finding one in Mint State 68 or higher. That's when things get serious. So, what should you be looking for if you want to score big with your spare change? First, check the obverse of the coin. That's the front. Look for the P Mint mark just to the right of Washington's ponytail. Then check for any major scratches or wear. If the coin looks sharp, lustrous, and virtually flawless, you may have a potential gem. Your next step should be getting it graded by a reputable service. Keep in mind that grading does cost money, so it's only worth it if the coin appears to be in exceptional condition. But imagine paying $50 to get a coin graded and discovering it's worth over $45,000. That's the dream. Let's recap what makes the 1995 P Washington quarter worth so much. First, it's an ordinary coin, made extraordinary by condition. Second, it's graded by a professional service at Mint State 68. Third, it has strong eye appeal with sharp details and natural luster. And finally, there's high collector demand for top-grade modern coins. Combine all these factors and you've got a coin that turns heads and breaks bank accounts. Now here's something fun for you. Go grab that change jar. Dig through those old coin rolls. Take a close look at every 1995 quarter with a P Mint mark. You never know what you might find. That spare change could be worth tens of thousands of dollars if you strike it lucky with condition and rarity. Before we wrap up, make sure to like this video and subscribe for more fascinating coin stories just like this one. We've got episodes coming up on rare dimes, error pennies, silver certificates, and much more. Drop a comment below if you've ever found a valuable coin or have a special piece in your collection. I'd love to hear your stories. Thanks for watching, and until next time, happy hunting and keep checking your change. Hey everyone, and welcome back to the channel. Today, we are diving into one of the most exciting and surprising stories in modern American coin collecting. The 2018 D Mint Mark Washington quarter dollar coin and how it skyrocketed in value to an unbelievable $63,509. That's right. A coin that many people might have in their pocket change right now has become a rare collector's item and is worth a small fortune. But how did this happen and what makes this particular quarter so special? Let's rewind the clock a little bit and take a look at the history and background of the Washington quarter itself. The Washington quarter was first introduced in 1932 to commemorate the 200th anniversary of George Washington's birth. It was designed by John Flanagan and has remained a staple of U.S. coinage ever since, with a few changes along the way, including the State Quarters program that began in 1999 and the America the Beautiful series that followed in 2010. The 2018 Washington quarters were part of the America the Beautiful series, and that year featured 5 designs honoring national sites across the United States. But the one we are talking about today, the 2018 D quarter, stands out from the crowd. Now let's talk about that D Mint Mark. The D represents the Denver Mint, one of the primary facilities where U.S. coins are made. Millions of quarters are struck at the Denver Mint every year. But what happened in 2018 that made one of them so incredibly valuable? Here's where it gets fascinating. The coin that fetched over $63,000 wasn't just any ordinary quarter. It was a 2018 D quarter with an extremely rare error, or in some cases a perfect high-grade condition that's almost unheard of for coins in circulation. We're talking about mint state grades that approach MS68 or even MS69, which are nearly flawless. To put that into perspective, most quarters made for circulation fall into the MS60 to MS65 range if they're lucky, but one single coin graded MS69 with full luster, no contact marks, and razor-sharp detail has become a holy grail for collectors. This particular specimen was authenticated by a top grading service and sold at auction for an astounding $63,509. Yes, you heard that right, one single quarter. So let's break it down. Why would someone pay that kind of money for a quarter? There are a few key reasons. First, rarity. Even though millions of 2018 D quarters were produced, only a tiny fraction are found in perfect mint condition. Second, collector demand. Many numismatists focus on collecting high-grade examples of each design in a series and are willing to pay a premium for that one coin that completes the set. Third, the condition census. This refers to the highest graded examples known, and when a coin is literally the finest known, it becomes a trophy piece in any collection. And fourth, we can't ignore the hype factor. As word spreads about these rare finds, more collectors start checking their change and sending in coins for grading. Prices go up, and the spotlight shines even brighter on these modern rarities. Now you're probably wondering, do I have one of these valuable quarters in my pocket? Here's how you can check. Look for the 2018 date on the front of the coin and then flip it over to the reverse. You'll want to find the quarter that features pictured rocks National Lakeshore, which was the first design released that year. Then check for the D Mint Mark on the lower right side near Washington's ponytail. If you've got a 2018 D quarter in great condition and you think it might be something special, you might want to consider sending it to a reputable coin grading service like PCGS or NGC. Even if it's not worth $63,000, a high grade could still bring in a few hundred or even a few $1,000s, depending on market demand and rarity. And remember, not all valuable coins are based on condition alone. Some are worth more because of errors like double dies, off center strikes, clipped planchets, and more. So keep an eye out for any unusual features. Now let's talk about the current market value. As of today, the record sale still holds at $63,509. That's the top tier, but lower mint state examples like MS67 and MS68 can still command anywhere from a few hundred to several $1,000s, depending on eye appeal, strike quality, and demand. Raw ungraded examples that appear flawless could fetch anywhere from $50 to $100 if sold to the right collector. It just goes to show how important it is to pay attention to the little details on your coins. Sometimes the treasure is hiding in plain sight. So what's the takeaway here? Never underestimate the value of the change in your pocket. One lucky find could be worth more than $60,000 if you know what to look for. Whether you're a seasoned collector or just getting started, it's stories like this that make coin collecting such an exciting and Rewarding hobby. Make sure to like this video if you learned something new. Subscribe for more awesome coin stories, facts, and tips, and let me know in the comments. Have you ever found a rare or valuable coin in your change? Thanks for watching and happy hunting.